From gold dust glittering in riverbeds to the bright lights of Hollywood and the world-changing tech born in garages, California's story isn't just one tale, it's a massive collision of dreams, cultures, and constant reinvention. When you start to unravel how this place has repeatedly transformed itself, you see why California symbolizes possibility, conflict, and change all at once. Long before it was a state or even a Spanish colony, California was home to one of North America's most diverse indigenous populations. Hundreds of tribes like the Chumash, Ohlone, and Miwok lived here, perfectly adapted to everything from coastal waters to deserts and forests. They built complex trade networks and developed deep ecological knowledge over thousands of years, managing the land with practices like controlled burns. This vibrant world is often forgotten in the later stories of an empty land waiting to be discovered. European contact began in the 16th century, but it wasn't until the late 18th century that Spain really dug in. To secure its northern frontier, Spain established a chain of missions led by figures like Father Junipero Serra. The goal was to convert indigenous peoples and pull them into the Spanish colonial economy. But this system was built on coercion and confinement. Historians agree it led to a devastating loss of life from disease, cultural destruction, and forced labor. Alongside the missions, forts and towns sprung up, laying the groundwork for cities like San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and embedding a Spanish influence that lasts to this day. In 1821, Mexico won its independence from Spain, and California became a distant northern province of the new republic. Life revolved around huge cattle ranches, or ranchos, and power was held by a small California elite. But this relatively quiet frontier was about to change dramatically. By the 1840s, American settlers began arriving in greater numbers, lured by the promise of land and driven by the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that the U.S. was destined to expand across the continent. The Mexican-American War ended in 1848, and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo officially handed California over to the United States. Almost immediately, history hit the fast-forward button. Gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill. The California Gold Rush was on. Overnight, the region was transformed. Hundreds of thousands of people flocked here from across the country and around the world, from Latin America, Europe, and China. Boomtowns appeared out of nowhere, the economy exploded, and competition for wealth often turned violent. While a few struck it rich, most didn't. The human and environmental costs were immense. For native Californians, it was a catastrophe. Their population collapsed under the weight of violence, disease, and displacement, a tragedy now widely recognized by scholars. In 1850, California was admitted to the Union as a free state, skipping the usual territorial phase. This reflected its explosive growth and the national crisis over slavery, but it was a complicated freedom. The state passed laws that denied basic rights to many non-white residents, including Chinese, African American, and Native American people. The late 19th century saw California woven into the fabric of the nation. The Transcontinental Railroad, completed in 1869, was a monumental achievement, but it was built on the backs of Chinese laborers who faced horrific conditions and rampant discrimination. This prejudice was later codified into law with the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, a dark chapter in American history. Meanwhile, large-scale agriculture turned the Central Valley into a global breadbasket. But this prosperity was built on exploitative labor systems that would affect migrant workers for generations. The turn of the 20th century brought another seismic shift. Hollywood became the world's dream factory, shaping global entertainment and culture. Cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco boomed, fueled by real estate, oil, and manufacturing. World War II accelerated this growth even further, bringing massive federal investment in military bases and defense industries. But the war also exposed deep contradictions, most tragically in the forced internment of Japanese Americans. The U.S. government has since acknowledged this as a grave injustice. After the war, California became the ultimate symbol of the American dream. It was a land of sunny suburbs, sprawling freeways, top-tier universities, and endless consumer culture. Aerospace and higher education fueled an economic boom that drew millions from across the country. But it was also a crucible of social change. The civil rights movement, the farm worker movement led by Cesar Chavez, the environmental movement, and the 1960s counterculture all found a powerful voice here, challenging authority and redefining what it meant to be American. Then came the next reinvention, Silicon Valley. In the late 20th century, a handful of cities south of San Francisco became the global epicenter of computing, the internet, and digital culture. This tech revolution reshaped economies and daily life across the planet, while also raising new, urgent questions about inequality, privacy, and power. In recent decades, California has remained at the forefront of national debates over immigration, climate change, housing, and economic disparity. It continues to be both a trendsetter and a battleground for competing visions of America's future. What makes California's history so endlessly fascinating isn't just its epic scale or its breathtaking speed. It's the constant tension between opportunity and exclusion, between progress and its price, between dazzling idealism and harsh reality. You see this pattern repeat itself, from the missions to the gold fields, from Hollywood studios to tech campuses. As the state continues to evolve, facing new challenges, its past is a powerful reminder. California has never been a finished product. It's a place that is continually being imagined and reimagined, both by those who come here seeking a better life and by those determined to make this vast, complicated, and beautiful place their home. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through California's history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.